my name is Cassie Rose. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, thank you for joining and for clicking on this video. As always, go ahead and click subscribe down below and turn on the notification bell so that you will see whenever I post a video. I have this channel because I want to share resources for you to become a better, stronger leader and for you to be fully equipped to lead the people that are around you. And a big portion of that is just realizing that you are a leader. So if you clicked on this video, you're a leader, you have people in your life that you can influence, and I want to help you to be a stronger, more confident leader in whatever area that may be. Right now, we are in a series discussing the book, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Leader by Patrick Lencioni. This book is amazing. It's a narrative written about a group of people at a business, at a tech company in the Bay Area, actually in Half Moon Bay, which is very close to me. They are a dysfunctional team, an extremely dysfunctional team. And so we're in week 3 now, and each week is discussing a different dysfunction that this team and many teams encounter in their lives. And so the first week we talked about an absence of trust in a team and how that is the basis for this pyramid of dysfunction. And when there's an absence of trust, on top of that is built a fear of conflict, because when you are afraid to trust the people around you, then you are afraid to have conflict with them. You don't feel safe to have conflicting ideas or goals and things like that. And so these are the two foundations of this pyramid, is a lack of trust or an absence of trust, and then a fear of conflict. So we've been going through this and the pyramid just keeps building. So this week we're going to talk about the next layer, which is a lack of commitment. Now, a lack of commitment can be extremely toxic for a culture when you have a team all working together, because you want everyone in your team to be extremely committed to your goals. You can't reach your goals without commitment. Not if they're big, audacious goals. You want everyone to be committed in order to get where you are intended to go. So with that, this lack of commitment can be extremely toxic and dysfunctional for your teams. What does it look like when a team member isn't committed to the vision or the goals of the organization? What does it look like when someone just doesn't really seem to care that much about where you're headed? We need to be able to identify this, because if you can't identify what a lack of commitment looks like, you can't treat it. And just like any other disease, you need to know which disease it is before you start giving it medication. Otherwise, you're not a good doctor. So how do we identify a lack of commitment? What I think is really important for this specific portion is the word vision. And if you don't know what a vision is, it's not just what psychics have when they are seeing in the future. A vision is basically an idea of what the future is going to look like. It is a preferred picture of the future and what you want the future to look like for your organization, for yourself, for your family. Every leader needs a clear vision in order to get somewhere intentionally. So an organization, if it's structured well, is going to have a clear vision for their future, where they want to go, how much money they would like to make, what kinds of products they'd like to provide. There's a vision, and behind any good solid vision is a why. The why for the organization is key. I have spoken about this in multiple other videos, but your why as a leader is key to everything that you do. It's what wakes you up in the morning. It's what drives you to get out of bed. Your why matters. And so this why in an organization leads to the overall vision. How to identify a person who lacks commitment is a person who is not bought into that vision, a person who doesn't care about the overall goals and progress of the organization. Now, this could come down to a lot of different types of organizations. This can be a nonprofit serving the community. This could be a tech industry building something to really benefit the world and to get us further into the future. At a doctor's office, this could just be really taking care of your patients and giving them the time and attention that they deserve. Every organization has a different vision. Your vision for your organization matters immensely. And when you see someone who doesn't care for that vision, that is a big red flag that they are not committed to the goals of your group. They're not committed to the organization. The person that is not committed to the organization, they're probably just not bought in to the vision. And when that happens, it usually comes from the fact that that person has no personal attachment to the vision or to the culture or to the goals of the organization. They have nothing personal at risk. they have no emotional tie to what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And so if it doesn't get accomplished, it's like, okay, well, I was getting the paycheck. I was here just to bide my time until my next venture. But when you have a big goal and vision for your organization, you don't want employees who are just lackadaisical trying to get by. You want people who are really sold out on the mission so that they can help you accomplish the goal. A lack of commitment can also look like someone who's basically just on autopilot. They come in, they clock in, they do their thing every single day. They're a C student, basically. And that works when you're in college and just trying to get your degree. But a C student really doesn't push themselves to get farther. They're just on autopilot every single day, clocking in, doing their thing, and then leaving. That can show a lack of commitment because people who are truly committed to the organization show initiative and go farther. And they care about the vision, so they push themselves to think outside of the box. But when you have someone who has a lack of commitment to the organization and the vision, they're not going to push themselves and come up with new ideas and projects and things that are going to further the mission and the vision. They're going to just kind of autopilot and coast and get by. So when you see someone that is struggling with these things, they're on autopilot, there's very little personal attachment, and they're not sold out on the vision, that is a good sign that they're lacking commitment to the organization or to the team. And as we're talking about these 5 dysfunctions of a team, we know that they come in this pyramid. And what that means is that a lack of commitment did not just arise on its own. It didn't come up because they just don't care about the organization because they have no personal attachment. Because if vision is cast well, anything can matter to someone. If you cast the vision and you say, this is what we're doing, we're trying to change the world, we're trying to affect people, we're trying to make homes more functional, whatever the product or services that you are selling, if you sell the vision with it, if you sell the why, any of your employees would be able to say, yeah, I believe in that. I believe in making people's lives better. I believe in changing the world. I believe in progress. And when you do that, then you can have employees that are so sold out that you never have to worry about their lack of commitment. But a lack of commitment is not built off of nothing. It comes from these 2 fundamental things that we talked about in the past 2 weeks, and that's what creates a lack of commitment. The interesting thing about this book is that every single week builds off of the next. So let's talk about how an absence of trust and a fear of conflict can lead to this lack of commitment. Let's start with the absence of trust, because that is vital. If a leader is trying to cast vision and really sell the why for their organization and their goals, you need to build trust with your people in order for them to buy into your why. You need to build trust with your team members if they're going to care about the goals that you're setting for them every single week. So trust is the foundation to everything. If they don't trust you, the why that you're setting out is probably not going to be important at all to them. If they don't trust you as a leader and they don't want to follow you as a person, then why would they be committed to your goals and your vision? If they're not sold out on you as a person, odds are they're not going to care to be committed to your team. But now if we're building this up, if they're not sold out on you as a person, if they don't trust you fundamentally, then they're not going to be comfortable having conflict with you. Conflict is already hard enough when you trust, care, and believe in the person that you're having conflict with. But take away that trust and conflict is just unreasonable. Why would you ever step into confrontation with someone if you don't trust them and you don't know how it's going to turn out? There is already a level of stepping into the unknown when you are friends with a person when it comes to conflict, because people could react any sort of way. But if you don't trust them, then you're going to be afraid to have conflict with them. And so what if you're trying to sell the why to one of your team members and they don't trust you, so they're not going to question you. So if they don't believe in this why or they don't understand it, they're not going to talk to you about it. And then you're going to end up with team members who are uninformed about the vision. They don't care about the why. They don't trust you enough to have conflict. And then they're going to lack commitment to your team, and your team isn't going to be able to accomplish anything because they have this dead weight. This is a vicious cycle. And so we need to address each of these dysfunctions individually, but also in tandem with each other. So we need to deal with a lack of trust in a team. We need to deal with a fear of conflict by creating a culture of healthy conflict. We need to deal with the lack of commitment by selling the why, but we also need to do all of this together, creating trust, which leads to conflict that also leads to commitment, and then it will eventually lead to the 2 weeks later on. So this leads to, how do we deal with this lack of commitment? Well, it's very simple. We need to focus, number one, on building trust in our teams. Every single week, what we talk about is going to come down to building trust within these teams, because our teams need to know that they are cared for, that they're important, and they need to know that they can trust their leader. That is vital. It is so important that we build trust first and foremost. So if you need to understand how to build trust in a team, please head on over to that first video. I will link it right here and you can check that out, because building trust is honestly the most important part of a team, because trust is the foundation that your culture is going to grow around. If your house is the culture that you live in, the foundation is the trust that it's all built on. That is week 3. It's a lack of commitment. And what we want to see is committed teams who are sold out on our why and on our vision for our organization. And those teams that are committed will eventually lead to results. Next week, we are going to talk about the 4th dysfunction. So come and tune in for that. It's going to be talking about accountability and how important accountability is for your team. And if you aren't already thinking about accountability for your teams or for whoever it is that you're leading, I would highly recommend that you watch that video. So stay tuned, turn on the notification bell so you will see when I post that video. I've really loved going through this book and I hope that it is helpful. So talk to me in the comments about what you think about commitment. Maybe what a lack of commitment has looked like for you personally. If it's looked different from what I've talked about, maybe it is for different people and it manifests and the symptoms look different for you. So let's talk about what a lack of commitment looks like. I hope that this is helpful. I'm so glad that you guys have been joining in with me, and I can't wait to talk to you next week. Again, subscribe down below, hit the like button, that really helps me, and leave a comment. I'll see you guys next week. Bye. The interesting thing, I don't know if you can hear the leaf blower back there. It's definitely loud, but that doesn't mean you can hear it. There's already a level of unknownness. There's already a level of stepping into the unknown when you don't know, when